Hi. How's the front-end project going?
It's progressing, but I've hit a snag with the JavaScript part.
What's the issue?
I'm trying to implement dynamic content loading without refreshing the page.
Have you tried using Ajax for that?
Yes, I'm using Ajax calls, but the content updates are not smooth.
Maybe you could use a framework like React. It handles the DOM updates efficiently.
That sounds like a good idea. Do you have experience with React?
Yes, I've used it on a couple of projects. It really simplifies things once you get the hang of it.
Could you show me how to set it up?
Sure, let's start by installing the Create React app. It sets up everything you need.
That would be helpful. What command do I use?
Type this command in your terminal. It will create a new project folder called My App.
I see. And how do I add dynamic content?
You'll use state and props in React to manage the content changes.
Sounds a bit complex. Could you explain more about state and props?
Absolutely. State is data that changes over time, like your loaded content. Props are used to pass that data to components.
Okay, that makes sense. So, I pass the loaded data as props?
Exactly. And whenever the state changes, React will automatically update the component for you.
That seems like it would make the content loading smoother.
Definitely. It updates only the necessary parts of your page, which makes it faster.
Great. I'll need to rewrite some parts of the app, but it sounds worth it.
It might take a little time to refactor, but it'll improve performance and maintainability.
Thanks for the help. I'll start working on integrating React.
No problem. Let me know if you run into any more issues. I'm happy to help.
Will do. Thanks again for suggesting React. I'm excited to see how it improves the project.
Have you seen the latest user feedback on the interface redesign?
Yes, I have. There seems to be some confusion around the new menu layout.
What specifically are they finding confusing?
Users are having trouble finding the settings option. It's lost in the new dropdown.
We need to make that more accessible. Perhaps we should consider adding an icon?
That's a good idea. A gear icon could work well to signify settings.
Exactly. How about placing it at the top right corner of the homepage?
That placement sounds perfect. It's visible and intuitive for most users.
Do we need to think about tooltip assistance for first-time users as well?
Yes, adding a tooltip that says settings when you hover over the icon could prevent further confusion.
I can update the prototype with these changes. Should we test it internally first?
Let's do that. We can gather some quick feedback from the team before rolling it out.
Great. I'll make those adjustments and send you the link to the updated prototype.
Thanks. Once we have the internal feedback, we should also consider a quick A/B test with a small user group.
Agreed. We can compare the old and new designs to see which performs better in terms of user engagement.
Perfect. It's important we make data-driven decisions for these UX updates.
Absolutely. I'll get started on this now and let you know when the prototype is ready for review.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing the improvements. Thanks for jumping on this quickly.
No problem. I think these changes will make a big difference. Let's touch base again after the internal review. Good morning. How's the database migration going?
Hi. It's moving along, but we're facing some slowdowns with the data transfer.
Are we hitting network limitations, or is it a processing issue on the database side?
It seems to be a bit of both. The network is congested, and the old database server is struggling under the load.
Have you considered setting up a temporary replication to ease the transition?
I was thinking about that. Do you think it could help reduce the downtime?
Definitely. If we replicate the data gradually, it can minimize the impact on our current operations.
That's a good approach. How quickly can we set up the replication?
If we prioritize it, I can start setting it up today. We'll need to configure the new server to accept incoming data.
What about data consistency? We need to ensure no data gets lost or corrupted.
We'll use transaction logs to keep track of the changes during the migration. This way, we can ensure everything is copied correctly.
Great. Could you also look into optimizing the network traffic? Maybe we can schedule the heavy lifting for off-peak hours.
That's a smart move. I'll adjust the transfer to run during the night. That should help with the network congestion.
And let's keep an eye on the server performance too. Maybe we can optimize some queries to reduce the load.
Good point. I'll review the most resource-intensive queries and see if we can improve them.
Thanks. Once we have the replication in place and the network optimized, let's monitor the system closely for any issues.
Absolutely. I'll set up alerts for any performance dips or errors in the data transfer.
Perfect. Keeping the transition smooth is key to not disrupting our users.
Agreed. I'll get started on these tasks right away and keep you updated.
Thanks for handling this promptly. Let's catch up later to review the progress.